Amen. It's your boy D-Man, a Reveal Life, the most unnecessary channel on YouTube. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all real quick. All of my cartoon reviews at this point have been over some tame stuff that any other cartoon reviewer can just graze through without anyone batting an eye. At the time of making them, I didn't think much about it, but recently a theory resonated with me. I like to think I'm safe to assume that there's this unwritten rule in the cartoon community about making reviews on shows like these. You know, the top fives of networks. The shows that made the channel what it is today. Like, you don't see YouTubers making reviews on Eddy and Eddy willy-nilly. Real thoughts have to be put into those. So much thought to the point where the reviewer just thinks the show can speak for itself. Like SpongeBob, for example, a show that isn't even finished yet. Everyone loves SpongeBob, but if you search for a SpongeBob review, you'll be presented with episode reviews instead. And this is realistically how it should be. We can go even further than that with, let's say, the Flintstones reviews. Boom, one result. And no one cared. Nobody wants to hear an opinion on a show that already is solidified as a classic. What more are you gonna say? This show was really good and get out of here. Beginning cartoon review channels also falls victim to this as well. Now there's this genius idea as of late to trick viewers into watching a cartoon review, but labeling them video essays. If your title looks like this and your thumbnail looks like this, or maybe this, you are guaranteed an onslaught of comments of all the good that they've gained from the show. Like, bro, you ain't gotta lie and say that Squirrel Boy changed your life because this video said it did. You're probably 13. I love all these guys, by the way. I'm just referring to what the video is called, not what's in it. Anyway, my conclusion to this theory is that Reveal Life won't be around forever. As a matter of fact, I plan on ending the channel after 2021. But before that is said and done, I like to break this invisible seal this certain community has by reviewing something I adore just like the rest of us, the Powerpuff Girls. 98. Will I add anything new to this topic? Will this video get a ton of views? Is this show better than Eddy and Eddy? Well, while the answer is no for all of those questions, my only unique insight for making this video is that Did I pass the minute mark yet? Alright, bet. I'm a real nigga. Let's go. Alright, y'all know the story, so let's not pull any punches. You guys remember this show? Well, believe it or not, this show started everything you love about cartoons today, and the assembly of Cartoon Network's original CalArts gang. There's a CalArts gang from Disney too, but they have nothing to do with this video. Anyway, Donovan Cook, the creator of Two Stupid Dogs, was assisted by 3 notable names that would go on to create some classics as well. Boom, boom, boom. Do you know their names? Kinda? Okay. Boom, boom, boom. This knowledge is essential. It'll be on the test tomorrow. And here's the main character we're focusing on for now. Let's see his accolades before Powerpuff Girls. Alright, pretty solid. What the fuck is this? Oh cool, it's the original concept for Powerpuff Girls. With ass in the title. Nobody's gonna buy that shit. Nick already has 3 juggernauts as it is. MTV wasn't looking for animation like that at the time. And Cartoon Network doesn't exist yet. So like every cartoon creator's pitch, he waited. Boop, 1995 is here. Hey look guys, I removed ass from the title. You like me now? Nah, they ain't got no fingers, I don't like that. Son of a boop, 1996 is here. Alright guys, I tried the redesigns, but it ended up looking like some stuff that I would do for Gendy's project. Oh, it's funny that you mentioned that because we ended up greenlighting Dexter's Lab instead of you. I don't like it here. Boop, 1998 called, and while Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life was blared through the airways of the streets, these promos played upon TV sets, glaring for the November 18th launch of a brand new show.
Let's get him!
Powerpuff Girls, saving the world before bedtime.
But who cares about that shit when we got another show coming out 2 months from now? I'm getting ahead of myself. Powerpuff Girls is a show where a totally not Samurai Jack scientist creates children that just so happen to have the ability to beat your ass. This concept was completely bonkers just based on the aspect that these damn girls are in kindergarten. They haven't even learned how to write, but they still have the ability to stump you out, which is actually a threat considering the fact that they are literal bullies throughout the show. It's amazing.
Why were you laughing? Why were you girls laughing?
Before I continue further, I suppose I should introduce the cast a little. Let's start off with Blossom, the self-proclaimed leader of the trio. She's basically the trope of a goody two-shoes, know-it-all Mary Sue bitch. Kinda similar to Lisa Simpson, but she has flaws? I mean, kinda, but nothing too major to make her more interesting. But the fact that people in this universe know her character trope so well is usually where the humor is.
First, you will bow down before me. Next, you will pledge your allegiance and devotion to serve me.
How do you know I won't lie?
Because you're Blossom.
And now for Buttercup, who I think is the saving grace for the show. I like to estimate that at least 54% of the conflicts in the show has happened because of Buttercup. However, her drive to punch things has also solved problems too. So I want to say that cancels out the bad traits of her character, but remember I said 54%.
Eat this, Casey!
Meet Bubbles. She's there to be cute. That's literally it. Quit trying to make more of her character. She's literally there to be the cute one. Nothing else. But she was hardcore in that one episode. Get out of here. Look, Bubbles is fine. But if you have her as a profile picture, you're probably a bitch.
Okay, Bubbles, calm down. Everything's all right now.
At this time, I would start talking about the voice actors for each girl, but a grand majority only knows one, which is understandable, accolades considered. But for those who just want a quick refresher, E.G. Daly, the voice of Buttercup, was also the voice of Tommy from Rugrats, while Kathy Cavadini, Blossom, voiced, no one really notable to me. Like, I'm sure that you guys are like, what do you mean? But I legit don't know who the rest of these characters are. I think that's Cinderella? I don't know. She did stuff. You get it. Interestingly enough, in the pilot, Bubbles was originally voiced by Kat Susie, also a juggernaut of the industry along with Tara. So I would love to hear the story on how she ended up snagging the role for the long run. But it's probably something boring like scheduling conflicts. And girls aside, Tom Kenny and Tom Kane both do their thing too. We got Jeff Bennett in a joint, Rob Paulson. Bro, we got Jim Cummings in this beach. And if you just so happen to claim you watch a lot of cartoons and don't know what Jim Cummings' voice sounds like, I'm gonna snatch that cap right off of you. I'm not even gonna show who he voices because you should know better. I'll see you over there opening Google, nigga. But all of those voice actors are no match for my favorite character of the series, Boogeyman. I mean, just look at the swag on my boy. That nigga really dripping. But in all seriousness, I'm talking about Mojo Jojo is a monkey. And I'm not sure if you guys are aware or not, but like, I really love monkeys. Like, this isn't a joke. I am sure that the racist people in the audience think that it's quite typical for a monkey to like monkeys, haha. But guess what? Shut your bitch ass up. For real though, Mojo is a top tier character of the show. And I'm not referring to how smart he is or how funny he talks, but the straight up relatability of how he lives his life is so cleverly written. And no other character can compete. Like, is he really a villain? Because most of the time he be vibing and everybody else just messes up his day.
So you said you wouldn't do it, so I said what, you're too schmaltzy to make a house call?
He's voiced by Roger L. Jackson, who's also the longtime voice of the character Ghostface from the Scream series. I would list his other credentials, but I'm sure only 2 of you know about the direct-to-DVD 2013 movie Kumba. Hey, at least his list is extended for his numerous video game roles that he played. I just personally think he'll never top his performance with Mojo. Like, it's unmatched. He even voiced him in the reboot because they knew no one else was worthy. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Voice actors and development aside, the Powerpuff Girls was truly slated to make an impact on the animation world. Not so much on how it looks, but how it's written. Like, be honest, imagine you're an everyday Joe and you run into promotional art like this. You're expecting something tame like Bratz type stuff, right? What? They don't make Bratz anymore. Oh yeah, that's right, I'm getting old. Alright, replace Bratz with LOL Surprise Dolls or whatever. You get my point. It looks like a show for a certain vagina demographic. It couldn't possibly have stuff like this in it.
Now come here, girls.
Well, it does, and that's what made it great. And I will continue to explain what made it great as we go into the main plus segment of this review.
Oh, hell yeah, Dub. Finally, we're talking about the Power Rangers. God, I love them. I love all their little suits. I love the big rope.
That's not what I said.
What?
I said Powerpuff Girls.
The Powerpuff Girls?
Yes, Bear.
What the fuck am I gonna talk about that? That's for little girls. I ain't gonna talk about that shit. What am I, gay? What am I, Veritas? Nah, for real though, Powerpuff Girls OG is one of the greatest cartoons ever made. Let me tell you about it. It's an easy, simple plot, and that's the cornerstone of the entire show. You get little girls, you give them superpowers, and you make them save the day from giant fuck off all who knows hell was out there. I'm talking giant kaiju robot fights. I'm talking white privilege. I'm talking the best of the best fighting the baddest of the baddest. You couldn't get any better on a Sunday morning if you fucking woke up at 6:30 a.m.
Thank you very much, Bear.
Fuck!
Anyway, what kind of plots are you expecting from a cartoon made in the 90s? Because if you're expecting shows like I Am Weasel to have episodic storylines, you can get out of here. Powerpuff Girls is a damn cartoon. Nothing more, nothing less. It did what it had to do and made a lot of money while doing so. That's not to say that current cartoons aren't cartoons. Have you seen Clarence? You haven't? Of course you fucking haven't. My point is, you weren't looking forward to Powerpuff Girls to see if Blossom's hair would grow back next episode. You were just looking forward to see the next wacky antics that are going to be displayed within
the city of Townsville.
There's episodes with broccoli aliens. There's a couple of episodes where nuclear waste is just randomly discarded somewhere just for plot's sake. There's a damn episode where they kindly ask a monster to leave and they just bounce. And there's literally an episode that explains that monsters purposely come to Townsville all the time for the street cred. But those are just the concepts that don't involve the recurring villains you'll be seeing in the intro. Like the Gangrene Gang be squatted up chilling, Fuzzy Lumpkins just wants to be alone, and the Amoeba Boys just want to be taken seriously. And him is literally the strongest character in the series, but as soon as he's easily beaten, he doesn't try anymore. Like he could kill the Powerpuff Girls with a snap of his claws anytime he wants, but he's so into psychological warfare that he couldn't be fucked. So that sums up a majority of the girls' encounters. Now, as far as the show's themes and characters development are concerned, this show is pretty all over the place. The last episode of season 1, the professor sees the girls fighting crime for the very first time, and that's where he gets overprotective. Cause you know, them doing it for 20 plus episodes before then just flew over his head, I suppose. But this is an actual thing that parents go through, to be fair. Like, they're fully aware that their kids are out doing God knows what, but to actually see it is a whole different scenario. However, other episodes literally have me scratching my adult head as of late. Like episode 2 of the first season is nuts because they have Professor Utonio getting depressed one night because he doesn't have a woman to lay with. Like, nigga, you're the professor! You literally made 3 human beings. You could easily make a bad bitch for yourself with the same method. And if we're adding Chemical X to the mix, she could have some sort of wiener sucking action that makes you skeet in 3 seconds flat. Like, goddamn, if I was a professor, I would make an army of Tiana Trumps, nigga. And you guys remember that episode where Blossom gets ice powers, right? Well, at the end, it is revealed that it was only temporary and we'll never see it again. But then she goes to use it throughout the entire series. But I like to assume that they just forgot that they even wrote that continuity error in there. And also other things that shouldn't bother me as much as today, like the robbers finding conveniently placed Powerpuff Girls costumes in their cells, or the episode where they fight a magician and they all literally die, but then they come back without explanation because magic. My gripes to this day with the mime episode, not because of his ending, but because of the fact that he did nothing wrong and they still beat the fuck out of him and threw him in jail. But to be honest, I'm just a grown man now, so I shouldn't be taking stuff like this seriously when I knew damn well I was dying of laughter as a kid. It wasn't supposed to make sense. It was supposed to be entertaining, like a majority of the series was. Well, at least the reruns that they constantly played. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but like up to season 4, Powerpuff Girls didn't air all the episodes it had in its arsenal. It's either that or I don't remember a lot of them premiering. Because when I went back to watch the show for the review, I was dumbfounded by all the episodes I missed. Which is crazy to say because I wholeheartedly remember the entirety of Dexter. So maybe I didn't find them interesting enough to remember, or I just flat out stopped watching the show. But here's how much of the show's scheduling I remember due to the reruns. The entirety of season 1, the entirety of season 2, season 3 I only don't remember 1 episode, and season 4 is where I show my true colors because I don't remember a damn thing. Which, interesting enough, was the episodes that aired before the premiere of the movie. But I'll explain that later. But let's move on with the direction for the rest of the series. So, let's talk about seasonal rot. all shows have them. It doesn't have to be shows that are running to this day. It can be past shows that people hold ever so dear. That isn't to say that cartoons shouldn't run for too long, but if you're going to, it's hard to hold the charm that people were watching it for in the first place. I personally think that 3 is the magical number of seasons for all shows, and every show that goes past that number is usually losing me. And that goes the same for Powerpuff Girls. Not only did I not remember pretty much any of the episodes from season 5 and 6, but I always thought that the series ended after the movie premiered, which is kind of true considering that Craig left the series afterwards to pursue his new project, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Which means, who was there to do the rest of the heavy lifting while he was gone? Well, I hate to put all the blame on one person, but since his name pops up first in all the end credits as a producer for the last seasons, I'm just gonna have to call this the Chris Savino era. Now, we all know Savino as a weird guy now, but back in 2003, he was still weird. But here's the thing, season 5 and 6 of Powerpuff Girls felt off. Like something wasn't there from his original vision. And not just because Craig and Gendy wasn't there anymore. Nah, my gripe was that the show became more convoluted in plotline for episodes, making characters talk more than they need to, and less about the damn Powerpuff Girls. This show is literally built off the fact that these cute girls could beat your ass. Why am I watching a whole episode based on a talking dog? You're ruining the joke of his existence in the first place. He's just a talking dog. Stop! Stop! Stop!
What I mean,
Stop! Stop! No! So pretty much after watching the show again for the sake of this review, the last 2 seasons are pretty damn boring. But I'm only saying that because it feels more like a complete disconnect from the series in the beginning. The only notable episodes that you guys would probably care about is the flashback one where it shows them as teenagers, and the episode where Buttercup curls her tongue. An episode I love, however, because of my acquired taste in musicals, is the Band Gnome episode that has a certain musical number I adore to this day.
You wanna say your words, you wanna make a deal, you wanna change the world, you wanna make us feel real good, real good.
Like, bravo to the voice actor's vocal range on this joint. Woo! That still doesn't make up for episodes like Mojo pissing on the girl's bed. I definitely could have lived a smooth life without that. Now, that being said, what can we say about the Powerpuff Girls Craig and Savino eras combined for its plot synopsis? Nothing really. Storyboarding for this show is quite flexible since they didn't think about the longevity of his universe. It's a damn cartoon. What more could you have asked for? Buttercup turning lesbian by the end of the series? Fuck it in my face, please. There is one more piece of media though conjoined with the series that was intended to have all the origin questions answered. The Powerpuff Girls movie. As mentioned, before Craig left the series, he had one big one up his sleeves. A way to talk about how the girls were actually created and their transitions into heroism. I mean, sure, the intro tells us that enough, but the fact that there was never an episode based around it was pretty bizarre. And after Cartoon Network saw all the money merchandising was making them, giving Craig the green light for a movie was a no-brainer. However, the turnout wasn't as satisfactory. Powerpuff Girls the movie ended up being the first and last Cartoon Network theatrical film, only making its budget back in the US and then some worldwide. It wasn't a financial failure, but it did warrant enough warning to never do this shit again. It was a bit of a dark and gritty film that was supposed to bring boys, girls, and adults all around a good time. But apparently that wasn't the case. I originally thought that the film failed because only girls went to see it, and that's what parents thought the intention was? I know damn well my dad didn't bring me to watch this film. The only way I could watch it was convincing my mom by bringing my 3-year-old sister along. But upon further inspection, did you know that this movie went up against Men in Black, Like Mike, and Lilo and Stitch opening night? No wonder he couldn't break bread. I would talk more about this film, but I'm kinda getting some future PTSD vibes from the thought of YouTube taking this video down if I show too much footage. This is one of my favorite movies though. Like, it bodied what it needed to do. And you guys know how much I love Edna and Eddy, but this movie is definitely better than Big Picture Show. No contest. And that shit pains me to say too, but if niggas like you really want to argue with me about...
Nah, that's actually valid.
Well, never mind. Thanks for agreeing with me, Tariq.
Thanks for having me, Dub.
Alright guys, so Powerpuff Girls ran from November 18, 1998 to March 25, 2005. It had 6 seasons and over 150 individual episodes. It had a Christmas special, an anniversary special, a CGI special, an anime adaptation, a complete series box set, and a reboot. Say what you want about the Eds, but Cartoon Network is clearly playing favorites. Craig ain't even involved in this shit anymore, and they still want that Powerpuff money. And this is why Edna and Eddy will remain the superior show. It came in being the best, and it went out being the best. But when they went to school, the show was kinda trash.
Boy, if you don't...
Talking about the Powerpuff Girls nowadays is a mixed bag, because you're either gonna have a nostalgic conversation reminiscing about the early 2000s, or a bitter one talking about the corpse it is now after 2016. And I'll be damned if I talk about a series that took out women because they had breasts.
We are the biggest pussies on the planet. I want to die.
But throughout the entire longevity of this entire franchise's existence, I have to say that my favorite episode as of now is Butter Crush. We have Buttercup falling in love with a grown-ass man, which is a trope that won't fly by today without a writer looking like a weirdo. But this episode is nuts in general because it's about Buttercup. However, she doesn't say a single line of dialogue in it at all, which is genius.
Now listen, Buttercup, it's not what you think. Buttercup, I'm innocent. The boys, they put me up to it, honest.
Oh, can I talk about what I like about the Powerpuff Girls? Oh, please, please, please.
Huh? What? Oh crap, I forgot you were here too. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so what I like about the Powerpuff Girls is that it's 3 little girls trying to fit in with the other kids at their age while kicking asses and causing mayhem and near-death experiences. They so cute together.
That's it? Alright, thanks Jenny, thank you. Well, how about you, Black Geeky Girl, Powerpuff Girls #1 fan? What's your favorite thing about the series?
Alright, let me just make this quick cameo.
Get out of here! Ahem. In conclusion, the Powerpuff Girls definitely left a legacy on this world today. It changed people's lives. It gave girls something to watch. It gave boys a girls show to watch, which is the narrative that primarily made me want to make this video in the first place. I probably even got to make the title clickbait just to get you guys to hear this. I love the Powerpuff Girls, and I'm a boy. A black boy to be exact, which was even more frowned upon back in the day. All the commenters saw were the pink hearts, the cute characters, and the title, which was enough to label it just to one gender. And that has always bothered me as a kid. How come I can't sit down and watch Braceface? How come I can't sit down and watch Kim Possible? How come I can't sit down and watch Hannah Montana? While you same parents can sit with me on the couch as you force me to watch Living Single, Girlfriends, and The Parkers, which are all good shows in their own right, by the way. But what exactly is the difference between female protagonists in adult shows compared to female protagonists in kids shows? Nothing. So why is my sexuality questioned within this regard? Powerpuff Girls was literally made by a guy to show the world that girls are awesome too. And there was a good mixture of action and comedy to keep all ages, all sexes, all anybody satisfied. And the world has a lot of growing up to do to this day, labeling stuff just on looks. This part of the video was originally written in December, and you can interpret it however you wish. Just thank you for even making it this far. Amen.